If someone had come to us last year and said that the golf world will face a chaotic time very soon, we would have just laughed in their face, wouldn't you? Turns out that all that was missing was a new Saudi-funded rival. The newest development in this months-long drama comes as the announcement of many changes to the PGA Tour. It all started with an exclusive meeting a few weeks back, and today we're here to spill the beans. First up, Tiger Woods held a players-only meeting in Delaware a while back. The 15-time major champion stepped in Wilmington, Delaware some 2 weeks back. This was around the time of the BMW Championship, so we knew that all the top golfers would be nearby. Tiger may not have been there for the championship, and that was a bummer, but it was only a while later that we found out he was there for something bigger, something that will now transform professional golf forever. The golf legend was here to meet up with only the top names in the sport and discuss the future of the PGA Tour and how to counter the threat posed by LIV Golf. We all know about the antitrust lawsuit going on right now and how the new league keeps recruiting pro players from the tour. It was time for the tour to step up, and as we found out just a few days later, this meeting was the first step. As reported by one of the top 20 players, this discussion was for all top players to get on the same page and take more ownership in tackling the issues faced by the tour. Players were all ready to take some initiative now, and we're happy that they did. Now, why was this a players-only meeting? If you ask us, it's not looking good for the tour right now. They've tried all they could: suspensions, warnings, public notices, meetings with managers, and yet players like Cameron Smith have still been swayed away by the promises of greener pastures and greener dollar bills. It was high time that the golfers met up and took the fate of golf into their own hands. We know what you're thinking. Why do players need to decide? Isn't that the job of the tour officials? Or, the commissioner? You're right, the job is theirs, as is the authority. But right now, these officials need their top payers to stay with them. They need to save their business. You all know that their main star is the player. If more and more pros start defecting to the other side, they will lose their fan base. In order to retain its membership, the tour needs to know what the members want, what motivates these golfers to stay with the tour, and what needs to change. A sport means nothing without its players, and giving them the floor is really important. On top of that, you have none other than the legend Woods managing it all. That's even better. Imagine the things that they would come up with. Coming up, details emerge, and we've got proposals for a tour within a tour. Lucky for you, there's no need to imagine anything here because our golf journalists are just gold. We're talking about you, Alan Shipnuck. It was only a matter of time before exclusive reports were out, and it's looking rather interesting. One of the major points brought forth in the meeting was an idea of a tour within a tour. Sounds exciting just by the name, right? Trust us, it is. This proposition is basically a new event, and yeah, we know what's going on in your heads. You're probably thinking, that's it, just a new event? Well, it's not just any new event, not by far. The tour within the tour would consist of just the top 60 golfers playing 18 no-cut events on the tour. Yes, you heard that right. How often have you watched the top golfers compete on the same court? That stuff rarely happens, and to have a whole new event that's just about that, take all our money. Speaking of money, you might want to hold your breath for this one. The event would have $20 million prize purses. Wow, guess LIV Golf isn't the only league out there promising millions. Watch out, Norman, they're coming for you. And this isn't just a proposal. The 20 mil is a major possibility for the tour in the future. We've already seen 8 events on next year's schedule having huge prize purses, and we've heard this from Commissioner Monahan himself, but more on this in a bit. Moving on, more about player stipends and room for external investments. Other details have also emerged from the meeting. While our favorite one has got to be the one we just told you about, we're guessing this one is what players will like the most. The top players discussed having a stipend for the tour members. This stipend wouldn't be part of their earnings. It would be counted against it. Basically, think upfront payment to incur for the losses players might face if they don't win games or make the cut. You see, playing golf isn't as easy as you'd think, especially touring. It's costly. Hotels, travel fares, and not to mention the time you invest. It's difficult, and it can all be pretty demotivating if you don't get much to take home at the end of it. Everyone likes a stable income. It's no secret that many golfers have been going to LIV for more money, something they can't get from the tour. A stipend will change that. It would give these players the assurance they need that despite your performance on the course, you're still going to be able to take some money home and make up for all you incurred. We like this idea, and we think it's a pretty smart move for getting people to stay. Large prize purses and set stipends, this all sounds amazing, but where will they get the money? Don't worry, the meeting also covered that. During the meeting, players like Tiger and Rory McIlroy were rooting for the tour to renounce its nonprofit status. While it would force them to pay large amounts of taxes, it would also bring investors to the table. This would help the tour get more money to fulfill the promises of more prize money. All of these propositions could be brought to Commissioner Jay Monahan's attention, and it turns out they were. Let's take a look at the PGA Tour's commissioner's press conference this week. The PGA Tour strikes back. Commissioner Commissioner Monahan addressed the golf community just last week, a few days after this meeting. And this press conference kind of officiated the changes suggested there. Guess Patrick Cantlay wasn't wrong when he referred to Tiger as the new commissioner. He sorta is at this point. Monahan began the discussion with everyone's favorite tour within the tour. He says that top players have committed to at least a 20-event schedule now, and we'll see them play against each other more often now. Who doesn't like that? We know Jay does. This will start in the upcoming season, with 12 elevated events and many additional ones. And before you ask, yes, all events will have prize pools of around $20 million. The Player Impact Program is also going to expand, where instead of just the top 10, the top 20 players will also be benefiting. Oh, and we see a lot of money here too. The bonus pool for the PIP is doubled to $175 million. As for the stipends suggestion, it looks like the tour will launch an earnings assurance program. Here, they'll guarantee a minimum of $500,000 per player to its full exempt membership. Considering the cost-benefit situation we discussed earlier, Jay also announced something like a travel stipend program. Non-exempt members will receive $5,000 for every missed cut to help make up for their expenses. This looks like a step in the right direction, and we think everyone will like it. Wrapping it up with LIV Golf's response. Time to address the elephant in the room. We agree that these new policies mimic many of the things seen in LIV Golf. Monahan seems to agree too. Speaking of higher compensations, the commissioner did say that the new policy was comparable to how other leagues approach the matter. It's no secret that he's possibly referring to LIV here. And so what? If you want to beat them, you need to cash in on their strengths. And money is one of the biggest strengths of Norman's league. The tour wants its members to stay with them, and this is a way of ensuring that. But of course, LIV wasn't going to sit back and keep quiet. Do they ever? The series responded on the same day, throwing some major shade at the tour. They said, LIV Golf is clearly the best thing that's ever happened to help the careers of professional golfers. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but no, you're not the best thing by far, and we have a full-page speech by Tiger Woods to tell you why, but that's for another day. They obviously didn't stop with just this statement. No, when it comes to pettiness, CEO Greg Norman is always one step ahead of his own team. His response came in the form of a meme, and a very classic meme. You've seen it, right? The one with, "Hey, can I copy your homework?" Remember, he attached this meme to Jay Monahan and wrote the caption, "A day late and $1 short." Seriously, Greg, that's a wrap for this video. Do you think that the tour's new decisions are good enough? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.